Before I get into the video, shout out to Royal Shadow 666 for the first comment on my last video, hashtag notification squad. If you don't have notifications on yet, hit that little bell and be alerted when new videos come to your door right away. So, 100 episodes of Crystal Clear. Well, if you want to be technical, there are more than 100 videos in Crystal Clear playlist, which is why I'm not doing anything special for this Crystal Clear. It's just another number for me. However, I am going to use this to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that is, when did the answer take place? It's not exactly clear. At first, we're under the assumption that it took place before Pink Diamond was shattered, that it took place at the very beginning of the rebellion. However, this episode aired at the tail end of Season 2. We've had a full season and a half since then. We've learned more about Blue Diamond, Pink Diamond, and some tidbits about the war since then. Enough to formulate a theory. What theory? That the answer actually took place after Pink Diamond was shattered. Now in this video, I'm going to break down why I believe that, gather everything we know, and maybe you'll agree with me. So now, let's get right into it. Now, there's two things that really intrigue me about the war. One, the Earth belonged to Pink Diamond, and two, the war and the rebellion may be intertwined, but they're not exactly the same thing. For a while, we were led to believe that the war and the rebellion was just interchangeable names for each other, but I believe the rebellion led to the war. But why? First, let's look off at Jasper. Originally, she was under Pink Diamond's court, which means she was made at a time where Pink Diamond still existed. And we know Jasper was actually a valuable asset in the war. But in the episode The Return, which is her debut, there's a line she says that a lot of people really overlooked. And that is, "I was there, you know, on the first war for this garbage planet." Jasper saying first indicates that there was actually more than one war for the planet Earth. Now, we know how the Gem War ended, with the corruption light. So when would have been a middle point for the war to be segmented into two parts? I believe that middle part was Pink Diamond shattering. But again, why? Jasper was in the war, but she came from the Beta Kindergarten, which was said to be made in the middle of the rebellion. Again, Rose could have started a rebellion without actually declaring war on Homeworld or Homeworld declaring war on her. So if the Beta Kindergarten was made in the middle of the rebellion, that means Pink Diamond existed in the middle of the rebellion. Simple enough. Now remember, the answer was from Garnet's perspective. It was still her telling a story to Steven, so it makes sense you leave out some details, including Pink Diamond. Before Steven's dream, there have been no explanation as to why Blue Diamond was on Earth during the war. But now that we actually went through Steven Bomb 5 and see how much she's grieving over Pink Diamond's death, over Pink Diamond being shattered, it makes sense now as to why she was on Earth. Now we know that by the time the war began, we already had some sites already colonized, and we already had the kindergarten in action. We know this from both Garnet and Eyeball in the beginning of Garnet's story in The Answer, and Eyeball explaining how Pink Diamond was shattered in the episode Back to the Moon. So once the war broke out, we can make the safe assumption that they stopped colonizing altogether. So my belief is that the rebellion began, but the war necessarily didn't begin with the rebellion. I believe the war broke out after Rose and the Crystal Gems did something drastic. Something that didn't shatter Pink Diamond, but something that caused Homeworld to realize that this was a force not to be reckoned with. Which is why the Beta Kindergarten was made in such a hurry. However, once Pink Diamond was shattered, Homeworld temporarily retreated for a plan of action, and that's when Blue Diamond took over. I mean, after all, Blue Diamond took over the zoo. She protected all the rose quartz bubbles after they were bubbled, so I believe she was going to try and finish Pink Diamond's colony as well. But in order to do that, she had to stop the war. And now let's look at Blue Diamond's mural. That was made when Pink Diamond was still around. It's an Error 1 base. Since it was made when Pink Diamond was still alive, that's the most accurate depictions we have of the diamonds at that time. Now let's look at Blue Diamond. In her mural, she doesn't have a veil and her hair is a bit longer. However, in The Answer and subsequently all the other appearances of Blue Diamond, she does have a veil on, and a veil is used as a sign of mourning. And her hair seems shorter, and it looks like the front's kind of wrapped up. I don't know what you want to call that kind of hairstyle. But yeah, judging from the murals, I don't believe Blue Diamond started wearing that veil until after Pink Diamond was shattered, and the reason why she still wears it is because she's still mourning. Her grief is still overwhelming her to a very, very deep extent. Blue Diamond was relying on Sapphire's vision of the rebels in order to finally catch Rose Quartz in her pearl. Rose Quartz being responsible for Pink Diamond shattering. She not only wanted the war ended, but she wanted Rose captured. Which is why she was so upset at Ruby for indirectly sabotaging everything. Ruby let Pink Diamond's murderer slip right through her fingers, all to protect the Sapphire who predicted her demise, even though it's indicated she would have reformed on Homeworld later. And we all know the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial was probably as soon as Pink Diamond got shattered, Blue Diamond probably denied the fact that a diamond could be destroyed. She still seems bewildered by that in Steven's dream. Anger is where the answer happens. That's why she was so angry to the point where she would just rather shatter on sight. She wasn't in the mood for any mistakes. And of course right now she's in the stage of depression. Like, it's actually really bad. As we've seen in Steven's dream, and that will be all. And I think the most important detail here is that when Rose Quartz comes and tells Blue Diamond to leave, Blue Diamond gets out of there. Now, I don't think Blue Diamond would have done this if it was before Pink Diamond Shattering, because why would she disappear a normal Rose Quartz? Taking place after Pink Diamond Shattering, it would make sense as to why Blue Diamond would get the hell out of there. She misses Pink, but she's not trying to be in pieces with her. Now, if you're wondering, well, if it was after Pink Diamond Shattering, and Rose already had a following by then, how come it was only Rose and Pearl in the answer? Well, again, this was just a story depicted from Garnet to Steven. I mean, hell, the background gems were outlines. And if Rose had a variety of gems under the crystal gems at that point, I don't know how Steven could have even imagined them. Not to mention, they're not that important to the story. The gems in Blue Diamond's court are because 1, they were circling Ruby and Sapphire, and 2, Pearl took out a few court soldiers. But other crystal gems' involvement in the story doesn't really impact it that much, which is why they are absent from the flashback. And if this theory holds, we now know why Garnet wasn't as traumatized as Pearl was when it comes to Pink Diamond Shattering. She wasn't there for it. Pearl can barely even speak whenever Pink Diamond Shattering is mentioned, but Garnet can. So if she was absent for it, that explains why. And I don't believe she would be absent for it if she already joined the Crystal Gems at that period in time, especially since Garnet's one of the more higher up Crystal Gems. But hey, she was the very first permafusion, so I'm pretty sure Rose kept her close. But what do you guys think? Comment down below. Do you think the answer took place after Pink Diamond Shattering or before? I hope the evidence I presented gave you a lot more clarification. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. Follow us on social media, links to everything in the description down below. Awestruck Fox, signing out.